Good morning, everybody, and happy July 30th, 2025. Have a quick message for you again. I just wanted to pour into you today and remind you to protect your energy, protect your peace, protect your joy at all costs. We don't have to subject ourselves to our peace being interrupted. I always try to remind people that's in my inner circle, people that I pour into, people that I life coach, that you are the most important person for you outside of God. And if you're married, of course, is God, your spouse, then yourself. If you're not married, it's God, you, then the people that you love, right? Um, so protect your energy. It's so important to protect your energy. I always say it's okay to remove people from your life that you know is causing you to be in a bad headspace. Um, Whether it's family members, whether it's a best friend, whether it's someone who you feel it may hurt for you to get rid of, rip the band-aid off. You know how when you have a band-aid and you're like, oh, it's been on for a while and I'm scared to rip it off because it's going to hurt. It does hurt initially, but when we go ahead and pull it off and we're able to put ointment on that wound that has been covered up with the band-aid, and we keep applying that ointment and we keep applying that ointment. Initially we look at the wound and there's nothing there, and we're like, oh, I remember when I was so scared to rip the band-aid off of that was once there on my arm or my leg or wherever it was, and now that I have put the ointment on, there's nothing there, and I feel so much better. So I just wanted to say that a lot of times we continue to deal with people, places, or things because we don't want to rip the band-aid, and once you rip it, it feels so much better. And I just wanted to say that rip the band-aid off so you can feel so much better. And sometimes we can try to do good and be good to people, and if they're not happy within themselves, there's nothing we can literally do that would be enough. And I think we have to realize that there's nothing we can literally do that would be enough. We will literally be spinning our wheels because they will always be unhappy with us because they're unhappy within themselves. So when it's circumstances like that, you can't lose you trying to help them find them, and you can't lose you trying to help them find you, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's hard, especially if you genuinely love the person, but the person has to also be willing to do the work. Because let's remember this, everyone. You didn't get to where you're at overnight. Everyone had work to do. And if you were willing to do the work, they also should be willing to do the work. And if they're not, that's a them thing, not a you thing. And you can't fix that. They have to fix that. They have the tools, because remember, they have the tools in their toolbox. We all have a toolbox. God provides us all a toolbox. I don't know if I say that analogy on, if you guys have heard me say that analogy on my YouTube channel, on my TikTok, but I use it all the time on my YouTube. This is what I say. He gives us all a toolbox, right? With tools inside of it. But it's up to us to pull the tools out of the toolbox, right? If we don't utilize those tools, we won't build within ourselves. We cannot force a person to start pulling the tools and building with them. We can only help them identify the tools that they have. If they choose not to use them, that's a them thing, not a you thing. And I think sometimes we be so busy trying to help them identify those tools, and that's a wrench, and this is what you use it for. You use it to, and y'all, I don't know the different terms and what these tools are for, because I'm not trying to build nothing like that. I will if I have to, but I'm not here for it. A wrench is a screwdriver. I know it's for screws. That's a screw, and you have to get the screw and screw it in, and this, that, and the other. And you don't told them this about 6 or 7 times. And if they're not interested, you can't keep telling them over and over and over. You can't keep reaching in their toolbox and showing them this is the screwdriver and this is the screw. You put these two together, and that's what will tighten up this board that you're trying. This piece of wood and this piece of wood, when you put the two together and you put the screw inside of this hole and you put those two together, and you take the screwdriver and you stick it inside of this screw and you turn it to the right, and you keep turning, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Like you've said that 25 times and they're not getting it. Like, that's a them thing, not a you thing, especially if you turn it upside down and turned it to the left and the right and gave them different ways to dissect it and put it back together. And they're choosing not to hear you and receive what you're saying, or they're continuing to get frustrated and upset with you, or they're continuing to ignore that you're telling them the way that it should be done. They don't want to receive it from you. And that's okay. You don't have to be upset about it. You don't have to be frustrated with them. None of those things. It's just not their time and they're not ready. But you have to accept it. If you're frustrated, if you're overwhelmed, if it's messing up your joy and your peace within you, you need to go to God and pray about it. And it may be time for you to walk away. And it's okay for you to walk away. But we cannot stay in places that are toxic and not healthy. Like, it's just not. And sometimes the best way to help people is to pray for them and give it to God. And I think my last couple of videos, God has been leading me to this direction of releasing people and people being removed. And this is obviously for someone. And I hope whoever this is meant to catch it, I hope that they're catching it. Because I always say we have people that are milk drinkers and people that are meat eaters, right? So some will understand and some won't, and that's totally okay. That just means the way that I'm giving it is not for you. And those who understand will understand, and they'll receive it and they'll get it. But we have to be really careful about the people that we just allow in our space, and the people that we allow to absorb our energy, because our energy is very important. And just be careful with that, y'all. And don't let people suck up a lot of your energy. Most of y'all that's on my platform, we have lived more life than we have life to live. And I don't care who the person is. And everybody know that I'm very transparent. I don't care who the person is, and you shouldn't either. We really have to protect our space, y'all. We do. We have to protect our space, and we can love people, we can want what's best for them, but they also have to want what's best for themselves. And like I said, I know Camila, I know who I am. You know yourself and you know who you are, right? So if you know you're a person who have more people saying how good you are to the world, you know you add more value to the world than evil to the world, and you know you're a more positive influence than a negative influence to the world, keep being who you are, but also grow, be more, be better, be better. If you know that you are damaged inside and you have a lot of darkness, like, who are you when you're not with anyone? When you're sitting by yourself, what does that look like? That's how you know who you are. Are you at peace when you're alone? Or are you sad, crying, miserable? No one can tell you who you are but you. So sit with yourself and identify who you are. When you're alone, how do you feel about yourself when you're in your nakedness? That's what I call it. And I'm going to dive deeper in that, because no one can tell you who you are but you. Okay, and on that note, Allow God to be the navigation to your life. He will not steer you wrong. I love me some you, but most importantly, God loves you.